Etherlords 2, fresh out on Steam, is a re-release of a game that was originally created back in 2003 by a company called Nival. First and foremost, Etherlords 2 is a collectible card game. The player starts out by choosing one of two avatars and using that character to travel throughout the world, collecting new cards and building a better deck. The way you use your deck to attack other people is by encountering them on the world map. When you approach enemies, a dialogue box will pop up, inform you of their level, and ask you if you want to start a battle with them. And if you decide to accept a battle, the game then transitions onto the battlefield. And this is where the actual card game is played. You and the opponent take turns playing your cards, which are creatures or spells, and take turns attacking each other. The 3D models then take these actions in a turn-based style. From here, the rules of the card game are similar to any other card game you might have played. The game actually borrows a lot from Magic the Gathering, including some specific terms like First Strike, Flying, and Phases of Battle. In spite of the similarities and the apparent simplicity, there's actually a lot to do here. The combinations of decks that you can make is fairly complex, and as your character levels, you get additional bonuses that can apply to your entire deck. In addition to some of these bonuses that your character can earn, you can also focus on doing other things like gaining a lot of extra life, which changes the dynamic of the game. The card game itself is fun, and it's super rewarding when you custom build a deck with a single purpose in mind and everything works out exactly the way you planned it. But the problem is, literally every other aspect of the game suffers. I'd imagine the first thing you notice before you even play the game is that there's no resolution options, so it ends up looking pretty awkward on a widescreen monitor. In addition to that, both the camera and the movement on the world map are terrible. As far as the camera, you can zoom in and out and spin around, but there's no angle that allows you to really see where you're going the way you'd want to. Plus, the move animation is several steps long, so if you click one place and decide you want to change direction, you have to wait until the animation finishes before you can do that. And that doesn't sound like a big deal, but if you're traveling along in the world map, it makes everything extremely jerky. And to make that worse, the camera randomly will move on its own in a way that doesn't make any sense as you're walking along the road. And as you travel along these roads, you'll walk through towns and encounter different NPCs. And all of the NPCs in this game have voice actors. And normally that's a good thing, but in this case the voice acting is just bad. I'm a fan of over-the-top, quirky voice acting, but there's an attempt at drama here that just didn't work.
Skirmish? Best call this war, sister. Enemy forces are moving on us in huge numbers. I've never before seen the like.
I can't make too much of a judgment on the plot because, in all honesty, I clicked through the dialogue as fast as possible so I could get out of the overworld and into the card game where I had the most fun. At the end of the day, if you're a fan of games like Magic the Gathering, then you're probably going to get some enjoyment out of Etherlords 2. And at $5 on Steam, I can recommend it, but just barely, because the card game itself is fun, complex, and rewarding, but every other aspect very nearly ruins the game.